Shalom Israel. Before I start, I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Bahar, Rakar Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles in Israel who rule and teach well, to the Akims on the highways and byways, and those pushing this word in truth and sincerity, to the brothers and sisters in the truth. Now, I just wanted to touch the new covenant slightly. As you can see from the title, it's called the Beginner's Guide, and it's just who the new covenant is for. Because we listen to Christianity. They'll have you believing that anyone that wants to come and follow Christ, Yahweh Shai, can end up being under that new covenant. But it just goes back to reading. We've been told too many times what the scriptures are meant to say, and it's best for us to read for ourselves. I just want to bring this out quickly. This is Revelation chapter 1. And verse 3 says, "Blessed is he that readeth." And I want to look at this word readeth. Blessed is he that readeth. And the Strong's G314. Says to distinguish between, to recognize, to know accurately, to acknowledge, says to read. There's another point I wanted. This word readeth says I'm going to one of these, the root, this one. We're going to the root of that word. Slovakia. We go back. It might be this one here. Come off it, Slovakia. I could read it. Is it not this one? Yeah, here we are. It says to learn to know, come to know, get a knowledge of, perceive, feel, to become known. It says to know, understand. Yeah, it says have knowledge of, to understand. And this is one of the things we have to do when we're reading. We need to read with understanding. Proverbs 4:7, where it speaks about wisdom is a principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. When we're reading, we need to be reading with understanding. So blessed is he that readeth, basically those that has understanding when we're reading. So let's have a look at this new covenant. So this is Jeremiah 31 verse 31. So look here. Jeremiah 31 and 31, it says, "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah." Now, the reason why it's saying the house of Israel, Shalakia, and the house of Judah is because under King Solomon, Shalakia, after King Solomon died, you can read that in 1 Kings chapter 11 and 12, the kingdom split into two. So you had the house of Israel and the house of Judah. So the house of Israel was the northern kingdom, and the house of Judah was the southern kingdom. So it says, "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah." So for there to be a new covenant, that means there must have been an old one. And who was that old covenant made with? Go to Exodus chapter 24. Exodus 24 and start 1 says, "And he said unto Moses, Come up unto the Lord, thou and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and worship ye afar off. And Moses alone shall come near the Lord, but they shall not come nigh, neither shall the people go up with him. Verse 3 says, And Moses came and told the people all the words of the Lord, and all the judgments, and all the people answered with one voice, and said, All the words which the Lord has said we would do. And what people are these? The people of Israel. And Moses wrote all the words of the Lord, and rose up early in the morning, and builded an altar under the hill, and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel. Showing you that this covenant that we're reading about here was made with all 12 tribes. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto the Lord. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant and read it in the audience of the people. And they said, All that the Lord has said we will do, and be obedient. Verse 8, And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people, and said, Behold the blood of the covenant which the Lord has made with you concerning all these words. Yeah, so this first covenant that we're reading about in Jeremiah 31, it says, Behold the days come, saith the Lord, that will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Yeah, it says, Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers. Yeah, showing you that that first covenant was made with the Israelites. It says, Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt. Yeah, because who was it that the Most High actually delivered out of Egypt? Now you have people who say, oh, well, there was a mixed multitude, which there was, but the deliverance that the Most High did, that was to deliver the children of Israel, quickly see something. This is Exodus chapter 3 and verse 10, I believe. Yeah, it says, And Moses said unto the Lord, unto the Most High, Who am I, that I should go unto Pharaoh, and that I should bring forth the children of Israel out of Egypt? Showing you that those that was delivered, yeah, is dealing with the children of Israel. So this is Jeremiah 31 and 32, says, Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, saith the Lord. Here we go. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. And why is it referring to the house of Israel in this verse? But before, it referred to the house of Israel and the house of Judah. Because part of the prophecies when you read Ezekiel 37 is that, we will be made no more two nations or two kingdoms, but we will be one. Let me quickly bring that out. Ezekiel chapter 37. And throughout the scriptures, the context of that covenant is the same. This is Ezekiel 37 and verse 22. And I will make them, let me start up a bit. And say unto them, Thus saith the Lord power, Behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whether they be gone. Because part of that covenant, the old covenant, is that will be scattered amongst all these nations for breaking the covenant, and will gather them on every side, and will bring them into their own land. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all, and they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms any more at all. So this is why when we're reading now in Jeremiah 31 and 33, it says, But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel, because we are going to be one nation. Again, it says this, But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my law in their inward parts, and will write it in their hearts, and will be their power, and they shall be my people. Meaning who? The Israelites. Yeah, and because the blessings that we read about in the covenant when we read Deuteronomy chapter 28, those blessings still stand. But under this old covenant, which we are still under, because we're not actually under the new covenant as yet, we will keep losing the blessings. When you read throughout Kings, we had a few good kings, but then we had many unrighteous kings. So we would never hold on to the blessings that we were promised. But under this new covenant now, it says, but this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. And we can actually stop there. It says, after those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, who? Israel, and they shall be my people. Yeah. Now, when we go to Deuteronomy chapter 30, you can see the covenant here as well. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 1, it says, and it shall come to pass, when all these things shall come upon thee, the blessing and the curse, which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them into mind among all the nations where the Lord thy power has driven thee, because like I said, part of the curse is that will be scattered amongst all nations. It says, and shall return unto the Lord thy power, and shall obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day. And this is what we're actually doing now. In us repenting, we're actually returning back to the Most High. So this is actually starting to be fulfilled right before our eyes. It says, and shall return unto the Lord thy power, and shall obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children with all thine heart, with all thy soul, that then the Lord thy power will turn thy captivity. And we can see this starting to happen now. These earthquakes, the floodings, the wars, the rumors of wars, all these things are happening because we're starting to turn to the Most High. So now the Most High is starting to turn our captivity, so that then the Lord thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all nations where the Lord thy power has scattered thee. And this hasn't happened yet. This is one of the reasons we know that we're not under this new covenant as yet. It says, if any of thine be driven out unto the outmost parts of the heaven, from thence will the Lord thy power gather thee, from thence will he fetch thee. The Lord thy power will bring thee into the land which thy father possessed, and thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers. And the Lord thy power will circumcise thine heart. Yeah, this is us going under the new covenant. But who is this for? This is Deuteronomy 30. So watch this. Deuteronomy 29 and 1. It says, these are the words of the covenant which the Lord commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel. Yeah. So this new covenant that we're reading about here, Deuteronomy 30 and 6, and the Lord thy power would circumcise thine heart, the heart of who? The Israelites, and the heart of thy seed, to love the Lord thy power with all thine heart, with all thy soul, that thou mayest live. And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee, which is what we are seeing happening now, with all these judgments that's happening upon the earth. Now, Ezekiel chapter 36 and 24, but I will take you from among the heathen. So this is a continuing theme that we read about, when it comes to the covenant of the Israelites being gathered from where they've been scattered, and they were scattered for breaking the old covenant, the first covenant. Yeah, it says, for I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries, and will bring you into your own land. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and you shall be clean. From all your filthiness and from all your idols will I cleanse you. A new heart also will I give you. See, this is us being put under the new covenant. And a new spirit will I put within you, and I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and will give you a heart of flesh. It says, and I will put my spirit within you, and cause you to walk in my statutes, and you shall keep my judgments and do them. And this is when we're going to receive these blessings again, that we read about in Deuteronomy chapter 28. And this time we'll be holding on to these blessings. We won't lose them. Because what is it that made us lose them in the first place? For breaking the commandments. Yeah. So all these blessings from verse 2 down to 14. Yeah. These blessings still stands. And these blessings were promised to the Israelites, not to any other nation. So Ezekiel 36 and 26, a new heart also will I give you. Who's the you? The Israelites. And a new spirit will I put within you, and I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and I will give you an heart of flesh. And I will put my spirit within you, the Israelites, and cause you to walk in my statutes, and ye shall keep my judgments and do them, and ye shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers. More clues to let you know that this new covenant is for the Israelites, because the land wasn't given to the other nations. It says, and ye shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers, and ye shall be my people, and I will be your power. Same thing we read in Jeremiah 31. It says, I also will save you from all your uncleanness. Yeah, that's our sins being forgiven. And I will call for the corn and will increase it and lay no famine upon you. And I will multiply the fruit of the tree and the increase of the field, that ye shall receive no more reproach of famine from among the heathen, yeah, these other nations. Yeah. Then shall you remember your own evil ways and your doings that were not good, and shall loathe yourselves in your own sight for the iniquities and for your abominations. Yeah. So when we look at these covenants, various scriptures, because it's more than just Jeremiah 31. When we read the covenant, we can read about it in Deuteronomy chapter 30. We're here in Ezekiel 36. Yeah, that covenant is only for the Israelites, and we also read about that in the New Testament, showing that nothing hasn't really changed, man. Because what were they teaching from out of the New Testament? They're teaching from the Old Testament, so they can't teach anything different. So this is Hebrews chapter 8, verse 7. It says, for if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. Yeah, because we kept breaking that first covenant. Therefore, we wasn't receiving the blessings, you know. And currently, we are under the curses. It says, for finding fault with them, who, the Israelites, he saith, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Same thing that we read in Jeremiah, chapter 31. It says, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt. And this is not even talking about, because, you know, they like to say, oh, this is spiritual Israel. No, this is the physical people. And how do we know that? It says, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers. The covenant wasn't made with a spiritual Israel. It was made with a physical people. In the day that I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt. Yeah, it was a physical people that was led out of Egypt. This is how we know it's speaking about the physical people, not a spiritual. But this is another way that, you know, religion would try to join other nations into this covenant by saying, yeah, when it's now speaking about spiritual Israel. Yeah. And even in that sense, it's still dealing with the Israelites anyway, the physical people. It says, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord. Here we go. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. Yeah. A people after those days, saith the Lord. I'll put my laws into their mind, with the Israelites, and write them in their hearts, the Israelites, and I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for all shall know me from the least to the greatest. Yeah, we're going to have those laws within us. You know, our hearts will be circumcised. That stony heart will be taken away, and we'll be given a heart of flesh. It says, verse 12, for I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, showing you that forgiveness of sins is for Israel, because we're the ones that's actually sinning. It says, for I'll be merciful to their unrighteousness and their sins, yeah, the Israelites, and their iniquities. will I remember no more. It says, in that he saith, a new covenant. He has made the first old. Now that which decayeth and waxeth old is ready to vanish away. And this is what we're seeing when we go back to Deuteronomy chapter 30 and 7. And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee. You know, we're seeing this happening now. These curses start to transfer to these other nations, showing you that the old covenant is starting to decay, but we're still under that. And it's only when we're in, or actually, Ezekiel chapter 20. Ezekiel 20. Start at verse 33. Ezekiel 20 and 33. As I live, saith the Lord power, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out, will I rule over you, and I will bring you out from the people. See, we keep seeing this gathering, yeah, and will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered, with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face, like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith the Lord power. And I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant. And this is when Yahweh shall return. And this also shows you that we're not under the new covenant. Yes, and I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant. And I will purge out from among you the rebels and them that transgress against me. I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel. This is why we need to repent. Yeah? We need to repent and endure to the end, so that we can be put under the bond of that covenant and enter into the land. And ye shall know that I am the Lord. And ye shall know that I am the Lord. As for you, O house of Israel, see, letting you know who is speaking about the children of Israel. So just like I said, this new covenant is only for a specific group of people. It's not for everyone. And the scriptures, time after time, speaks about them being gathered from where they're scattered, because the Israelites were scattered under the curses of the first. I mentioned it. Let me read it. Deuteronomy 28. So we know 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and the statutes which are commanded this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Now, verse, I think it's 64. Yeah, 28 and 64, Deuteronomy 28 and 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. So that gathering that we read about is to do with the children of Israel, and that's in keeping with what it says in the covenant. I'll read verse 33 again, Deuteronomy 31 and 33. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. Yeah, blessed is he that readeth, who has understanding. But yeah, Lord willing, that was edifying. And we'll close out and give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Wahat, Rakar Kadash, Kwam Allah.